Hello and welcome to DCP SideQuest episode number 91. I forgot what number it was. 91 or 92?
91. We're still in the 90s, baby.
We're in the 90s. We're going to get into some grunge rock, maybe some Backstreet Boys. Gangster rap, yeah.
Gangster rap and
We've
Backstreet
done more of this podcast than we did of the Planet Destiny podcast.
That is crazy.
Oh.
That's it. Last episode. Enjoy it while you can.
We're leaving this place. We're burning all our bridges. We're going to start something new.
Relish in the finale.
We decided to make a podcast about Lord of the Rings. So you can join us every
perfect.
Monday to discuss
That
Lord
sounds
of the
great.
Rings.
Can we make a podcast about Game of Thrones?
Where we just bitch about season
Perfect
8
timing.
every week.
We just constantly wonder if the last book is ever going to come out.
Yeah, we're like, what's the update on our good friend, Mr. JJ's?
Yeah, what's his
He's
name?
currently busy. He's currently busy trying to write the story for Elden Ring, which is why we haven't heard anything about Elden Ring either. So
Yeah, what
he's
the hell,
basically
man?
just
I want
like-
some Elden Ring news. I need
I
that
know,
game.
right? But you know what baffled me as well, even more so, is that like following, because there were a load of like Elden Ring trailer leaks, like so fully formed. It's like, oh, there's clearly a trailer out, and I was like, oh, maybe they're preparing for an event, and it's just gone quiet again. It's just like
They're just like, nope.
They ceased to
Maybe
exist.
it'll be E3 or like the E3 kind of
think?
timing.
Yeah,
Maybe.
If it's this year, I would be so happy. I feel like it's
If it's this year.
yeah. I feel like it's years out at this point. But if we were surprised with like a fall release, I would be like, oh.
How
my
long have we
God.
been hearing about that game for? It's been years that we've been hearing about it, hasn't it?
I think it's only been a couple, right? Because they announced
not
it at
been too many.
Xbox's one. But no, I was at E3 when they revealed it. So what was that? That was 2019. Because it wasn't last year.
So
Yeah, year
2
before
years.
2019.
Yeah, so
it
it's
has
not
been
been
2
too
years.
long.
Yeah, but they always have something every year,
show a
right?
trailer and they're like, it's out next week?
Drop
Maybe
it.
that's what
with
they're
the
gonna do.
Nintendo?
Maybe they're doing a
That
drop.
would be amazing.
That'd be great.
They might be. Or maybe they'll
Drop
just
and
won't
go.
even do a trailer. They're just like, hey guys, Elden Ring's out now, by the way.
Yeah, that would be.
They don't need to do anything because the people are like,
Yeah,
it's FromSoft, it's Elden Ring. I buy games.
exactly. Yeah, that's how I feel. I'm like, gimme. I'm ready.
Yeah.
My money here.
You don't
Imagine
need
if they just went one step further. They didn't even tell you it was out. They just like listed it on Amazon and then put it in the game stores. And you just
that'd
one day
be
you're browsing,
like a
you're browsing
sneaky
Amazon,
drop.
and you're like, wait, what's this in like new releases? You're like, let me buy this. You're like, wait, it actually arrived? And they're like, oh yeah, by the way, haha.
That would be nuts. I know they would
That would
never
be
do
great.
that because the
No,
executives have to have a splash and marketing and all that stuff. But like, it would be amazing if some huge franchise was like, game dropped.
Yeah.
That was it.
That would be great.
But they always have something every year. Like last year they did Demon Souls, so and the year before that was Sekiro. The year before that.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, they're definitely There's still the potential for it because it's like I was chatting to my friend today about sort of the releases again. Like we've got some sort of clarity on up until about June, July. We know we've got like Guilty Gear coming. We know we've got we've got Ratchet and Clank coming now. They dropped their brand new trailer, which is fantastic.
They did.
We've obviously got like Skyward Sword remake, and then there's a few other games. So we know kind of up until then. And obviously, a few companies have started speaking now about them actually getting involved in like a digital E3 to a degree. So there's going to be. So I feel like in June it might be quite exciting because then hopefully that will actually lay out the calendar for the rest of the year. Because really, we don't know what's happening beyond June, July now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So anything's possible.
Yeah, it really is. Man, it would be awesome if Elden Ring dropped. But I mean, you know what I could probably see a little more likely happening is this remaster of Bloodborne for PS5. I could see them being like, that's going to be this year's release is a Bloodborne.
Do you think that's been being worked on?
I feel like for some reason they're like, everyone wants Bloodborne. We're never going to talk about it. We're not going to mention it. We're not going to think about it. It's so strange.
There's been rumors about an actual remaster for 60 FPS for the PS5. So instead of just
Who's working on it? The Blue Point?
well, that's the thing we don't know. These are.
I thought Blue
rumors.
Point was working on
Rumors.
that MGS. They were rumored to be working on an MGS Metal Gear Solid remake. I thought.
True.
Oh, yeah,
That is true.
True. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
And
this,
if anybody's gonna do it, I mean, Blue Point did such a good job with Demon Souls
They did an
that I'd
amazing
love
job.
to see him do Bloodborne as well. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that there's no other studios that could do it.
yeah,
Just that they just did such a good job.
yeah, it would be awesome if they did that. So I don't know. Maybe they would do another remaster like that for this year. Then Elden Rings is in 2022.
I could see for some reason. I mean, we'll know more, I think, during E3, but for some reason, just because we haven't heard much about it, I feel like it's not coming until next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could end up being like a quarter, like a Q1 next year, like a drop it in like March. Because didn't like Sekiro drop in like a Marchy window?
It did, yeah.
thing?
It was the first part of the year for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a March,
So
April
they
type
could
of release.
maybe do that, yeah, which wouldn't
Yeah.
be too bad. Like, I just hope that whatever happens, like after all this, like kind of gaming drought, they then don't just do the silly thing. They're like, we're all going to pile all of our games again in the same.
I know, right?
Which is what
Please
they are
no.
currently doing. They're doing it right now this second because we have the Monster Hunter Rise update coming at the end of April, and then Returnal is launching April 30th. So it's probably going to be the same day, most likely. And then right after that in May, you have Resident Evil 8. It's kind of a nonstop situation right now. And
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about with gaming drought. It doesn't feel like a drought to me. It really doesn't. Like, we got Monster Hunter Rise. That's still on everybody's plate. We got big games coming up next month. Maybe it's a bit of a slow spot, but it doesn't feel like a drought.
People are underestimating Returnal, man. It's by House Marquee. Which they make phenomenal games, and people are they're not allowed to put out their full review of the game, but we've been getting a lot of first impressions, and everyone pretty much across the board is like, this game is phenomenal. They're really impressed with everything about it. So I am very excited.
It's a native PlayStation 5 game too, right?
Yeah, Nice. So they make full use of the controller.
Awesome.
I've also heard that they make the best use of 3D audio yet.
Really?
So
Interesting.
I'm excited to play this game.
The only thing that makes me cautious about it is the fact that it's a roguelike and it's a $70 game. It's procedurally generated, it's a roguelike, and it's $70.
For me, I am totally fine with procedural generation. I know you're not a fan of that, but like, I actually really enjoy a good procedural generation game. So I'm hoping they hit the mark with it, because for me, it like makes me even more interested in playing it. $70 is a bit spicy if it doesn't have a lot of meat to it. So that is a concern, but as someone just interested in playing the game, I'm fine with forking over the cash initially.
Yeah. Everybody says it looks gorgeous, but I think we're running into that point where a 1080p YouTube video of gameplay is not able to fully convey the 4K 60 FPS splendor
Definitely
of a game natively
absolutely
on a console anymore.
Yeah.
Even just looking at
we need to address it.
footage of like Resident Evil 8, right? And after playing the demos, like you could not tell how gorgeous that game is from anything that you look at. It is it's very, very, it's a beautiful game. The lighting is insane. The game looks nuts.
Interesting choice of words for a horror game that is all about blood and gore. I mean, I wouldn't use those words, but
it's beautiful. Listen, when you walk into a room that's got a bunch of like wood carvings and there's like this light hitting all the little nooks and crannies, it's gorgeous.
Did you watch Mortal Kombat over the weekend?
Yes.
I didn't.
Because that was a beautiful, gruesome movie. See, like
I want to see it. I want to see true. I want to see it. Unfortunately, there's no. They failed to mention this in the marketing. They'll get everyone so hyped. They're like, "Yo, the movie, stream it like wherever you are, just enjoy it this weekend." They're like, "Except if you're in the UK." Sorry.
Oh, really?
I can't.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
No HBO Max for UK.
I've got no. No, we don't have HBO at all over here. I think
No.
like unless you can get it through like Now TV. But yeah, so there's a.
Is this because of Parliament or something?
I don't even know. You know, I
just making these decisions.
I have to wait for the Demon Slayer movie. I have to wait for the Mortal Kombat movie. I have to wait for whatever other movie. Like it's yeah.
Oh,
so
I'm so
this one
sorry.
released on HBO, right?
HBO Max.
Yeah, HBO Max. I want to watch it. It's really interesting because people are like, "Oh, that movie was so good," and then other people are like, "This is the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life."
Okay, if you compare
did you see Mortal Kombat Annihilation?
Exactly. If you compare it to the 90s Mortal Kombats, like this is night and day Mortal Kombat.
Whoa.
Yeah,
wait,
absolutely.
Slow down there just a minute. The first Mortal Kombat movie was pretty good.
I watched it recently.
I think it's still pretty good.
I watched it recently. It's pretty cheesy.
So did I. Well, yeah, but it's Mortal Kombat. The new one's pretty cheesy. but it's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, but they got some badass scenes, and like that Japanese actor like just carries so much weight in like one look.
Yeah.
As Scorpion, you're like, that's Scorpion. Oh my god.
The only thing I was
It's
seeing
pretty
is
good.
that 7-minute intro they put out. That part was what I watched online, and that was so like if that set the pace, that set the tone for the movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to see that.
Yeah. Now it did end in a way where I was like, oh, they're not going to do this one thing, and I was like disappointed about that. No spoilers, obviously, but like it didn't pay off 100%. But as a fan service game, like they showed famous fatalities, they showed famous fight stages. You know, a lot of famous characters were in it. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
But the main character was like a brand new character, which I don't understand why you do that. And when you have a roster of like 50 potential main characters, why do you make it brand new?
But he was connected to the characters in the game.
No spoilers. The movie, he was.
Yeah, but I mean, lore wise in the movie,
it's canon.
Yeah,
yeah, it was canon. Like, it's not a groundbreaking movie. It's not a groundbreaking movie, but man, it was fun, and it was very gruesome. They did not. It was fun. They did not let up on like the blood and gore on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it. I kind of expect any video game movie to just go in with expecting fun, and if I get anything more than that, then that's great.
Yeah, in fact, if you look at it like on the Monster Hunter scale, you know, Monster Hunter was like, whew, what is this? You know, in terms of story.
I haven't seen that either yet.
But I was having fun, even though it was like, this is a bad movie, but you know, these effects are great. Mortal Kombat is like light years ahead of that. There was at least
some of my favorite movies are bad movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun movie. I was glad. Like when there were some definitely like groan-worthy parts to it.
Sure.
And I thought it was pretty uneven. Like some parts were like that intro part that you were watching, Eric. I think it's like kind of a high mark for the movie. And it doesn't. I don't think it really maintains that level of quality.
Right.
But there's some really good stuff in there. And the bad stuff, I think it kind of earns too. It's Mortal Kombat, for Christ's sake.
Exactly.
If you're looking for war and peace out of this thing, you're barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. It's not going to win any awards or anything. Well, maybe for like the fight scenes, choreography.
I don't think they give out awards for fight scenes.
They should.
What if they give out an award for most gore?
It'd be up there. It wasn't like horror film gore. But it was just like, it was Mortal Kombat, you know? And it was like excessive amounts of blood coming out of stuff.
It felt at home in a Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it felt like they lifted a Mortal Kombat game into a movie. And I was like, cool. All right, let's do this. Yeah.
So, over the weekend, there are a couple things that happened.
Uh-oh.
Briar has a warrant out for his arrest. I put in a call to the police over the weekend, so they will be searching for Briar.
I spilled beer like 2 years ago.
I called Tefty, and he said he was on the case. I don't know what it means, but what can I say?
I'm at your house right now, Briar. It looks like I'm at my house, but I'm actually at your house.
You see, when Tefty was talking about van life, what he meant is that he got a van to recreate his setup. Van? So he could travel around the country on Briar's tail while being
van
incognito. But so there was Resident Evil has their demos. Of course, it's a very weird way they're doing demos. I think it's like get it while you can because it's only here for 24 hours. Oh my god. So last weekend, the last weekend was the village demo, and then last weekend was the castle demo. So I actually was able to play this one. You get 30 minutes to kind of explore the area. And if you played the maiden demo from earlier in the year, it's actually kind of cool because it takes place in the same areas. So as you're walking through the castle, you see all the areas that you did when you were playing this maiden who's been captured by them. But this time you're actually Ethan. So it's much more linear than the village demo. And the village demo, I think a lot of people discovered different things and people were talking to each other and being like, oh my God, did you find this thing? Oh no, I didn't, but I found this. But it was a very good way to show off how the crafting system is going to work, how you're going to be purchasing things from a merchant, and of course showing off the graphics, and also how the bug ladies are going to chase you and how that kind of works.
Bug ladies.
So I really enjoyed it just because it gets me so excited for the full game. It's just such a the RE engine on PS5 is absolutely gorgeous.
Question
Amazing.
is
Yes.
is the graphics were the graphics even better for this demo than it was in the demo that we played before?
Oh, maybe.
Or the
Yeah,
same?
maybe. Because I remember looking at it and being like, oh my God. Like throughout the whole time, I was like, oh my God, look at that light. Oh my God, look at that chandelier.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's really, really beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was a very cool demo. It's pretty short. I think if you just rush through the whole thing, you can reach the end where you can't go any further. So I was not expecting that because I finished it the first time and I was like, oh, I didn't get to go very far. Let me do it on another account. And then I got to the end and it was like 12 minutes. I was like, God damn it. I could have explored much stuff. I didn't realize that they just cut it off at a certain point. But yeah, the demo is super cool. You're not gonna get, I guess, a ton out of it. I think the village one was definitely more interesting, and it showed just heavy Resident Evil 4 vibes, big old RE4 vibes, big old.
That's exciting in and of itself.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a really good Resident Evil.
I've intentionally chosen not to play these demos because I don't want anything remotely.
I forgot about them too.
No, I watched the thing, them showing them and announcing it, and I was like, okay. And then I was like, I'm not gonna play these demos because I am 100% sold on playing this game blind. I already played the technical demo back, whenever, and I don't want I want to see it blind when I first go in.
Yeah, I would say that if you're feeling like Tefty is, checking out the Maiden demo, I would recommend, because the Maiden demo is like you're this whole other character. Like it's separate from the story with Ethan. You're not Ethan.
Yeah.
And it's actually really cool to walk around the area and be like, oh, that's where it was when I was, this girl who was kidnapped and trying to find a way out. And things look a little bit different, but they look very similar. So I would recommend doing that because that's just a really cool experience.
Cool.
But yeah, you don't really need to play the Resident Evil 8 demos. It just gets me excited for the game. I just want to play the actual game.
I know. I'm so excited about it. I want to dig in and have a Resident Evil experience. Resident Evil 7, I really enjoyed. But
yeah.
I see a lot of people on Twitter have been talking about replaying, or going through it for the first time and being like, damn, this is a good game. This is fun. It's like it was. It was a lot of fun. So I can't wait for 8.
I think 8's going to be just a very, very fun Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Very fun.
Yeah, I'm jonesing for it now. I didn't really play the Resident Evil 3 remake that much. I kind of I played like a couple hours of it, but it wasn't really catching my fancy. So I haven't really. And Resident Evil 2, I kind of played halfway through the remake as well, and I liked it, but I don't know.
X gave it to you, and then you were like,
whatever.
Nah.
Yeah, right. I was like, no, X is not giving it to this guy.
Like, not again, X. I can't do this.
Did you hear that they DMX obviously died? Did you hear that they brought him to his funeral in a monster truck?
I saw the videos of it. It was amazing because obviously DMX, Rough Riders, so they had his coffin on top of a big old monster truck, and then there were
monster truck.
Then there was so many people behind that truck riding, bikes and all sorts of different things. It was an emotional thing, right? Like DMX is a legend, and to have him go out in that way as a final hurrah, was really cool to see. I'm glad they did that because they just went around New York, which was of course really awesome for fans as well who were in New York who could see that. It was a good send off for DMX for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool.
There was also another demo that happened over the weekend of a game called Naraka Bladepoint, which I saw a preview of this, and I remember going, "Ooh, that looks fun." But I wasn't able to play it myself because I haven't been feeling great. But I did watch a bunch of streams of people playing it. First of all, the character customization is on the levels of like some of the best character customization out there.
Really?
Super good. You can change.
Are there beards?
Are there beards?
The fact that you don't know is very disturbing to
Well,
me.
I haven't been in the character customization. I saw someone make Yoda, and I saw.
This is my worry. See, every time someone's like, "Oh, the character creator is fantastic," they'll be like, "Oh, it's got so many options." I'm like, "Yeah, but what if you're a bald guy and all you want is a beard?" And they're like, "Well, there's nothing for you." But
You
there's
could
so
probably
many options.
make a flesh beard.
I don't want a flesh beard. That sounds weird.
It's your pirate
sounds
name,
like-
old Fleshbeard.
That sounds horrible. That just sounds like
I
your face
hope
is
this
melting
beard.
into your chin. They're better
Yeah,
than beards, otherwise.
I don't know. I'll have to
Resident Evil
look it up.
boss, Fleshbeard.
Because the character, this customization also allows you to get like a thing to be able to share it to people, so people are sharing their designs, and then you can kind of just download it almost. But it's essentially a BR, but there's different classes, and the people look different, so they do have different abilities. There's a grapple hook, and it's all like. There are some ranged weapons, but it's like katanas and great swords, and you're kind of flying around and grappling onto people.
Fun as hell.
Yeah, it looks.
Is this an
really
anime BR?
fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the kind of BR that I would play, because like normally I don't play BRs
exactly.
because I'm just like, I can't shoot to save my life. Whereas this one, you get to like, I mean, when I first saw the trailer, I was like, wait, what is this? Monster Hunter? Like this little like grappling wire bug, and then like. But yeah, it looks kind of. You can grapple people as well. Like there seems to be from the trailer I saw. There seems to be like a Red Dead style. Like you just lasso someone up and then you just go and combo them. I'm like, okay,
that's cool.
Yeah, I was watching gameplay and people who've gotten into it are very addicted to it, because you have all the like similar BR things where you're running around and picking up loot and getting armor and different tiers of weapons and stuff. You also have a dragon where if you look in the air, there's a whole dragon in the sky shooting down like void purple flame things at you, which you have to avoid.
Interesting.
But yeah, it looks cool. I definitely want to try it out if they have another demo. I think it's coming out in summer. We don't have an exact date, but I believe it's summer.
It looks like you turn into Goro.
Awesome.
It's Naraka, Naraka.
Bladepoint.
Yeah, Bladepoint.
That looks cool.
Yeah, people seem to be really enjoying it a lot.
This sounds cool.
So I want to check it out.
A BR with like melee combat sounds pretty dope.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when I get to, be a cute anime girl.
Yeah.
Right?
And there's still like bows and stuff you can use from a distance and things. So it seems
it's
quite interesting, and it seems kind of almost reminds me of some of those like old martial art films where they like you're running through the trees, because there were like some people that climbing up high and sort of Assassin's Creeding down and stuff. So yeah, it looks like it's quite an interesting sort of amalgamation of game types.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Cool. I want to check it out when hopefully they have another demo, because I would definitely want to play it.
Did you say when it was coming out? I missed it if you did.
Sometime in summer, but no exact date.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Is this going to be console exclusive, PC?
So it was on Steam. I don't actually know what their plans are for releasing it. I know that the demo was on Steam. Let me see if it actually says. It says summer 2021.
I just saw the Goro guy. Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. There's a bunch of different characters, and you can get like different outfits for them, of course, different skins for guns and swords and all of that.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I'll
give it a shot.
Sure. Yeah.
Is it going to be? I wonder if it's going to be a free to play and then have microtransactions.
I think they should go free to play. Otherwise, I don't think the game will do well if they don't do free to play.
Yeah, I can't really imagine BRs being successful today in 2021 without being free to play, at least initially, for their entry level stuff.
Yeah, I feel like especially because it's one of those genres now as well that's become so saturated that a lot of the time people are like, oh, not another BR. But if it's free to play, they'll at least give it the chance, and then that gives it the discovery it needs. Whereas if you have to, like, if you've got that entry point for it, you're just like, well, although it's a different kind of game, it's like that that kind of rocket game that EA released like last year. Rocket Arena. That's it. Rocket Arena.
Okay.
And I mean, it's basically like their version of like Rocket League, but more like a arena sort of battle thing. But the thing is, it was the sort of thing that people probably would have played, but because you had to pay, because it wasn't a free to play thing, they were like, no, we want to sort of sell it like at a cheaper rate. It's like, that's still a lot of, still a high entry cost
Yeah, because like the biggest
it wasn't-
problem is your
yeah.
friends, and usually it's like one person says, "Hey, we should check this out," and if you have to pay $40, to get into
That's the thing.
just to
Yeah.
see if you like it, to place a new BR that you've already been playing, other BRs for free, like it's tough. It's a tough sale.
Yeah. I saw speaking of like BR stuff. I mean, I don't personally play it, but I just saw the announcement drop out today. But it seems like Apex dropped like a new like 3v3 mode in their
Oh
their new
boy.
season.
Yeah, what is
this
this?
is really exciting. So, they've been teasing it for a little bit. And it is essentially it's a 3v3 arena mode. It's going to be here permanently. So it's a permanent part of the game. It's not just a limited time event. And they're doing a mix of a bunch of things. They're doing a mixture of like CS:GO, because at the beginning you purchase skills and you purchase guns that you want. But they're also mixing it with like a bit of trials is in there because it's 3v3 and you can revive each other. And they're also doing a mixture of what kind of just like a regular arena shooter, because obviously it has the buying stuff like CS:GO, like Valorant does, but the gameplay is not like that because it's just standard like Apex gameplay.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they're also adding a bow, which looks very Destiny, not gonna lie. Destiny inspired potentially, which makes sense. Their game feels amazing. So I think up there with gunplay and the way things feel is Respawn and Bungie.
Yeah.
Like they are the top. So this mode I'm really, really excited for. They have a bunch of maps for it, specifically for it. Like it's a fully fleshed out thing that they're doing. And as someone who I can do the shooties, but not so much the BR portion of BRs, I will absolutely be playing this. And you don't just get guns by like buying them in traditional Valorant CS:GO type ways. There are also drops on the map that you can get, which I think they level up the rarity of the drops based on how you're personally doing in the game, which is really cool. So yeah, I think it's going to be fun. A lot of people are excited about it. A lot of people who are the more traditional arena shooter gamers have kind of not really had a thing for them recently, unless you like the very slow Valorant type gameplay. But there's a lot of us out there that are just not into that. So having a game that actually comes out that is a traditional kind of arena shooter feel is very exciting.
Yeah, definitely. It kind of feels like the arena shooter days have been gone for a while in terms of hype of new stuff. So it's interesting that they're bringing their version into the Apex world, or I guess it's the Titanfall world, right?
Yeah. I wonder how like Call of Duty sells these days. It used to be that they'd break new records every year, but you don't hear that anymore. I'm sure it still sells well because you still see a lot of people playing it, but it's not like at the top of Twitch directories anymore.
Yeah, and
I wonder how well that game sells.
The VR kind of took over, right?
Yeah, and Warzone has taken over that side for them. Like they're doing seasons with Warzone, and did they add a new map or something as well?
Yeah. I wonder how that game sells anymore, because that used to be the biggest thing in video gaming. That and like probably FIFA, right?
Yeah, you'd like guaranteed it would come out and it would be like number one in the charts for like ages, right? It would be I
mean, I imagine that they're still just like they're selling battle passes now for Warzone, and then the people are still traditionally buying the base COD game, because I think the base COD game comes with perks for Warzone as well. So if you want like the full Warzone
it's a weird package. I bought it this year, and it comes with obviously the campaign, which I thought was really fun this year because it's kind of this 1980s Cold War thing that's kind of fun, although politically pretty charged right now. But it was fun. Like a cool aesthetic to it. And then it came with Warzone, but it was still like the last version of Warzone. Like it hadn't been updated as of November when the game came out. I think it only now just got updated like recently. I'd have to look at that, but I don't think it was that long ago. And then it came with obviously its own, arena style shooter, which I didn't actually play this year, which is weird. I never even jumped into it. I just wanted to play the single player.
Yeah, I've got some friends who are exclusive COD players. That's like all they play, and they're like, ever since Warzone, that's all they're playing now. They're not buying Call of Duty anymore. They're just playing the free version of Warzone. And I was like, interesting.
Took over.
Yeah.
Obviously, Call of Duty it's always going to be a popular game, but yeah, the Warzone stuff definitely kind of took over for a lot of people, especially if you've been playing Call of Duty for a long time. It's probably a bit more refreshing.
Yeah. Also, Warzone is.
Yeah, I
fun.
mean that formula was
getting
getting pretty long in the tooth, right?
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, they added there was like a rebirth mode or something like that. I think that when the latest Call of Duty came out for Warzone, they specifically added a new mode, right? I think it was around that time. And that was a different take on it as well, of their battle royale type of stuff.
You know what I haven't heard anything about lately is Battlefield. It's like, it seems like Battlefield would be that their engine and the way they've always made that game should be instantly transferable to, the current, climate of these battle royale kind of things. Because it's always been these bigger battlefields with tons of players on them. But man, when's the last time a Battlefield came out? Battlefield 1, wasn't it?
Yeah, whatever the last one was, didn't they? They had their own BR mode in there, but didn't it fall a bit flat? I never really, because I remember because wasn't it that weird thing, the game came out and it didn't have it, not everything was in place at launch, so things were coming later. I think their battle royale mode was called Firestorm or something. And I'm pretty sure that came later, but then I think they had basically my understanding from people that I know that used to kind of cover Battlefield, that last game they had setbacks. There was riddled with issues, and just the support for it didn't seem to be as prevalent. But I think there are some rumors doing the rounds now for Battlefield 6, I think.
Okay, now I remember Battlefield 1 came out with the 2080 Ti's, and it had ray tracing. It was one of the first ray tracing games. So.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah. Because they were showing off all the puddles and the stuff in the sides of their because their trailer had
mud. It's beautiful.
It was beautiful. All 24 FPS of it.
Oh dear.
Guys,
was a
I would
good
just
game,
like
though.
to let you know that Naraka does indeed have beards.
Oh,
So
that's
there you
comforting. That is comforting.
The boys are in.
You saved the day.
Now game.
We're good.
Does it have good? Does it have good beards?
Yeah, it's not just stubble.
Okay.
It's not just
Okay,
a little stubble or a little handlebar.
Every beard's a good beard.
You can make actual beards. You can even put braids in your beard if you so wish.
There you go.
Okay, now I'm there. Now I'm there. It's just that I've been hurt a few too many times. You see, especially recently when I went with the whole interview. When I actually got to interview the Monster Hunter Rise producers, and they were like, "Yeah, there are beards." I'm like, "Thank you." They lied to me, to my face.
Technically, they are beards.
True.
They're just.
But I was on a Zoom call with them, right? And I was like, that I'm not asking. You look at me. I'm like, that I'm asking for a very particular type of beard. And they were like, yes, you'll be pleasantly surprised. I'm like,
pleasantly surprised.
I was surprised. They basically, through a Zoom call, lied to my face. After all the support.
Well, in all honesty, we do that every week. So
true. Yeah, it's true. I know you're all Jar Jar fans, but you just don't want to admit it. So it's true. It's true. Don't worry. You don't have to let people know.
I quit.
Speaking of Monster Hunter, what is we got a title update that's coming up pretty soon, right?
Yeah, so
apparently.
Capcom will stream tomorrow. It was supposed to. Basically, they said that the title update will be dropping by the end of April. We are now very near the end of April.
Yeah.
So by process of elimination, I'm going to assume somewhere around Thursday, Friday, because if we use World as a metric, World they often did this thing where they would have a stream on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and then historically title updates would drop on a Thursday, US time, so it's midnight for me. And then it would be and if it was an event quest, it would be a Friday. So basically, I'm thinking they're going to have a stream tomorrow, and they're either going to say it's live right now, or they're going to say it's live at the end of the week.
Okay.
But yeah, this one brings in Chameleos, so obviously one of the returning Elder Dragons, Apex Rathalos, and then they've also in today's tweet they've basically because some people are like, is there going to be much in the update? I don't know why people have got this crazy idea that they're just there's not going to be much in the update because they've already said they're going to be doing the Hunter rank cap.
Is this make or break for Monster Hunter Rise?
Some people apparently think it is, but this Capcom have always consistently delivered. They even said they're going to be expanding on the story and stuff anyway because the game ended on a bit of a cliffhanger. But today's tweet they were there will be a plethora of new monsters. So they used the word plethora.
Hold on, we have to Google how much is a plethora.
That's 5 or more.
A specific number. How many?
It's got to be 5 or more, right, for a plethora?
It's definitely not 2. That's for sure. It's definitely not 3.
It just all it says is plethora means an abundance or excess of something.
Excess.
Oh, now you need to Google. Now you need to Google how many is an abundance.
I'm telling you.
How many does something need to be? It just means a lot.
I mean, what would be a lot of monsters? I feel like if there was suddenly between 5 to 10 new monsters, that would be a lot for a title update.
That would be cool. Well, factoring in, they said that if you've already updated the game, this update will be 0.9 gigabytes, which for a Switch game is pretty big. And if you haven't updated it, it's 1.5 gigabytes. So given that the game itself is only about 8 gigabytes, that's a pretty big update.
That's pretty meaty. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
So it's yeah.
What do you think? I mean, like, are you expecting? Do you think they're going to just be like a bunch of Apex version? I mean, you said there's a new the Elder Dragon that's coming in, but.
Yes, I mean, there's Chameleos. Like, there's a few like obvious omissions for like Monster Hunter games just in general normally have like once you get through like the quote unquote like main campaign, you tend to fight like a fair few Elder Dragons, and obviously currently the only Elder Dragons in game are the bosses. So we haven't really got that kind of thing, and obviously Chameleos is one of those ones. I'm hoping they do more with the Apex monsters because currently they're only rampages. If they put them in and they're really cool fights, so if they just put them in their own standalone quests and gave them like armor sets and stuff like that, that would be super cool. So it depends on how they want to play it. They could play it the sort of like half and half way, where they're like, there's a few new monsters, and some of the monsters in rampages are now their own quests, which is kind of new but not fully new. I mean, there's definitely a big glaring omission. Like the game is distinct, distinctly lacking elders and things like that. So. Whether they bring in new ones, whether they bring in like returning ones, we'll have to kind of wait and see. But yeah, I'd like to sort of see like a good like 3 to 4 new monsters. I think at least because the title, the page for it has kind of got a Chameleos icon, a Rathalos icon, and then a question mark. And also factoring in, they said that we know that the story ended on like a cliffhanger, so assuming it's not just like one more mission.
I hope they don't think a plethora is 3. Because that is incorrect.
a pleth 3, yeah, maybe.
I feel like that is wrong. This. How do you? How do you feel at this point with like the launch of Rise?
I mean, the thing is, like, I'm still like playing loads. I'm still enjoying it. I mean, obviously, I know that my view is slightly skewed because obviously I'm playing also to create content. So there's definitely a degree where, if I wasn't making videos, maybe I wouldn't be playing as much. But I'm still loving it. I'm still really enjoying it. The nature of the game and the way that, like things are more accessible and there's like so many different moves to mess around with. I do find myself jumping between weapons a lot more than I ever have done. So I'm definitely still doing that. But I do also at the same time do notice the current it's a weird like position to put it in because I don't necessarily want to sort of say like lack of content, because if you compare say like the launch roster with this and the launch roster of World, this had more monsters, but World had a sort of a loose end game loop, what with like tempered monsters and farming decorations. It wasn't this, I wouldn't call it an end game per se, but this one round on the flip side is obviously you don't have hunter rank to grind right now. And your only real like loop per se is to farm armor sets. In the more traditional Monster Hunter way, it's like old school Monster Hunter where it's like you farm armor sets, you farm weapons, you craft your decorations, and that's about it really. So in that respect, you do feel it slightly more because I'm getting to the point now, especially given that we are, as is always the case with the new Monster Hunter, starts in high rank. In the future, I imagine we'll get a G rank version. So when it's high rank, you're also slightly more limited on the build front because your armor sets don't have as many slots. So it's not like, say, one of the discussions we sort of had like pre-launch, I was like, I'm really excited for them to bring back craftable decorations and then make charms the random thing, because that's how it always used to be. And in the past, the reason I liked it is because builds in previous Monster Hunter games were a lot more limited. You wouldn't necessarily go with like a 10 stack of different skills. It would always be like you cherry pick, say, 3 or 4 skills. Because of the way the system worked, whereas now it's kind of the world system, but with fewer slots, which now kind of means that you're a little bit more limited on armor sets. So what we initially always thought at the beginning of like, this is going to open up so much more build potential, in actual fact hasn't massively, because a lot of the pieces don't necessarily have the slots or the use. So it does kind of almost exacerbate that feeling that there isn't too much to do at the beginning at the moment in that degree.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm still enjoying it. I think also, the thing is factoring in that like the game just launched like a month ago, and we've already got a title update coming in like April. Like if this was like another game, you would expect a title update like 2, 3, 4 months down the line.
Sure,
This is this, and then also we know that historically Capcom will always continue to support the game, following release, like typically for a year, and all of that will be free. So honestly, I don't really mind because anytime it starts to slow down, I'm just like, give us a month, and then there'll be some more stuff. So yeah, I think I'm cool with it.
Cool. Yeah. I see the grumblings, people talking about that and making comparisons to World and all that. But it's a different title. It's on the Switch. The Switch is a different experience. And I think the first title update is really going to set the tone as to how much content to kind of expect on a month-to-month basis, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't that happen too with a lot of games when you've been playing like the first game that has been well supported and it's gotten expansions for a while, and then the second game comes out and it's it hasn't gotten all that expansions, it hasn't gotten all that like secondary work, so it's much more streamlined compared to what you were just playing, which had years of support on it, years of add-ons.
Definitely.
So of course, it's going to be a little leaner.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what this title update is, just how many a plethora of monsters exactly is. Is it a plethora like it's a plethora of beards, or is it an actual plethora?
I hope their beard is not the metric for monster numbers, because otherwise I'm in for a big world of disappointment.
Every time somebody says the word plethora, all I can think of is the Three Amigos movie.
I don't think I've seen
remember
that.
it.
So it's a classic. It's worth watching. It's funny.
Okay.
What else,
guys? I got my new vaccine shot today.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
My second dose.
How's the 5G?
5G is great. GPS is working and everything. It's all good. Blah blah blah.
Awesome.
But I have posted a picture in our Twitter chat of the thing that I found while I was standing in line to get my shot. And I tell you, it is a revelation.
Did you buy it?
Comfort.
Of course I bought it, Watts.
Okay.
No, I didn't buy it.
Oh, well then how do you know?
Just look at it. Okay, so for anybody who's just watching the show or listening to the show, I did post a picture of it on Twitter immediately upon seeing this thing, but it's called a long reach comfort wipe. And I'll give you a couple of details about what this thing does. It grips toilet paper, tissue, or wipes securely. It releases button for fast sanitary disposal and has a soft, smooth, rounded end.
Quick eject. Small, soft, smooth, rounded end.
I think it is, it's like a 15-inch
ass wiper
extension. Yeah, it's an ass wiper.
Yeah.
Listen here, you ass wipe.
Obviously, it's for people with like limited mobility and stuff like that. But also, if you just want to have your toilet paper gripped by a wand, an ass wand,
or if you're just feeling like a king or queen.
Though, looking at the design of it, it doesn't look very comfortable. Some of it's called a long-reach comfort wipe, but that looks rather uncomfortable.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not exactly sure which side you're supposed to hold on to.
That's what I'm. Yeah, looking at the picture, it is unclear.
Clearly, it's the part with all the ripples in it that grabs the toilet paper.
Yeah,
right.
But the most important thing to note is that if you're unsure of what side to hold, just die on one side and only hold that side. Don't switch.
Just make a decision. But if you think about it, I mean, you're living in the laps of luxury here. It's like you don't have to reach around anymore. You got a tool for that.
Tool for the reach around.
You don't have to touch toilet paper anymore.
True. Super clean.
Why don't you just get a bidet?
Hilarious. My
Because
wife won't let me get a bidet.
Why not?
Why won't she?
Too French?
No, she's just anti-bidet.
Why? But she doesn't have to use the bidet. Okay, there's a story. Briars clearly blew something up. Water went everywhere.
Yeah, did you explode the toilet upon bidet installation?
When I first moved in, I thought it was really funny to put elastic bands around the sink sprayer, so that when you turn on the sink, it sprays you in the chest. You know the hose that comes out of the sink and you spray.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I thought it was really funny to tie a rubber band around there. So maybe there's like.
So the reason is your wife doesn't want to deal with bidet pranks.
But you didn't actually prank with the bidet? I thought this would have one thing led
She's
to another.
avoiding it.
No,
She's
sure, let me get one.
avoiding the disaster of
Avoiding
Briar
based off the
bidet
sink?
pranks.
That's unfortunate. Also, I'm pretty sure it's a switch you have to flip in order to get the stream going, you know?
Yeah.
So there's the minimal prankster activity.
If there's another reason, she doesn't have to use the bidet.
Yeah, it's not a requirement. You can opt for the
You're not going
to You can opt for the comfort wipe instead. You can have as an option comfort wipe on the wall, bidet on the toilet.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Really the best of all options. Long reach comfort wipe, though, I think I'm going to pick this thing up. Maybe you know what I'll do? Next Christmas. Somebody's getting a long reach comfort wipe.
I look forward to the review.
I'm gonna bet that's $14.99.
Does it have a price? I didn't take a picture of the price.
Yeah.
Well, now we have
Amazon.
to look at. Yeah, I was gonna say,
do this like Price is Right. Do this like
Wipe.
Price is Right. All right, I'm
Comfort
betting
wipe.
$14.99 on it.
Okay, I'm gonna guess. There's a lot of silicone there. I'm gonna guess $20.99.
Okay.
Wow.
Eric, do you have a guess of the comfort?
I'm
one?
gonna go that they want to get the bargain price. They're gonna go for $9.99.
Ooh, you can't afford not to buy it price.
Exactly.
The price is on Amazon as of Monday, April 26th, before we blow up the price of comfort wipes due to
That's
our.
true. These things
Okay,
are excellent to go out
yeah.
of stock. We're gonna
It is-
sell dozens of these.
It is
A plethora.
$9.99.
Oh my
$9.99.
god!
Oh
Eric,
my
on
God.
the money.
Do 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 do
$9.99.
do do do.
Yeah,
Man, what are
There
you gonna
you
do with
go.
all that money you just won?
Eric's just won the Daily Showdown.
I'm gonna with all that money, I'm gonna buy my own one.
You gotta
Oh, there's a
install a
video
bidet.
of how to use it.
Oh no, I don't want to.
Okay, please.
Oh, I
describe
was
this.
wrong about the which side you use it.
Oh, is the ribs handle? Is that the handle that you hold on to
Oh,
so you don't
yeah.
lose your grip?
Yeah. Yep.
So what do you
I
do?
was
You
wrong.
put the tissue in that little hole? I
Yeah,
just think that hole was for hanging it on the wall.
That's what I thought too. That's why I assumed it was the other way around. But no, apparently you put the toilet paper in the hole and like wrap it around there,
Whoa.
which I guess makes sense.
That doesn't sound very. How are you supposed to quick release it? I
Yeah,
don't
what is the
even
quick
wanna
I
know.
release
don't
with this?
understand the quick release. I'll be honest.
Is the quick release you just have to shake it furiously or something?
This is why it's $9.99. It's not very good design. That's why.
Yeah, we should have bought the $17.99 one.
Well, if I get you a Christmas present this year, Tefty, you're gonna be able to tell us exactly how good a design it
I'll
is.
give a professional review. Get some
Oh,
B-roll
my.
of use
Long
of it.
reach comfort wipe.
But $9.99, maybe you can just flush the whole thing.
I think that's
I
gonna
don't
get stuck
think
in the
so.
pipes.
You must have better plumbing out there than we do. You put a fingernail down our toilet, it gets clogged.
Damn.
Oh dear.
Now, I know Briar is very excited that I played 13 Sentinels.
Hell yeah, I am.
I started
Tell me what you
playing
think.
it. So I am about 4 hours in. I think the tutorial is maybe about 2.5 hours.
I don't know. It goes for a while.
It's a
though,
lot.
for
It's a while.
sure.
It's not a traditional tutorial where it's teaching you stuff the whole time.
No.
But it's the way that the game is a very unique type of game. I actually think that the story parts kind of remind me of Broken Sword, if you guys know that game, where you don't necessarily do gameplay, but there's a lot of like interacting with people and paying attention to what they're doing and picking up clues and solving puzzles. And so it's not like a traditional story game where you're literally just picking what you want to say to someone. You get to actually control the character, walk around, you get to pick up on stuff, talk to people about different things. So the story part is very interesting and very in depth. And then there's also another section of the game where you are doing a real-time strategy game where you are essentially people in mechs and you're shooting aliens.
Yeah, kind of.
Naked children in mechs, if we want to be specific.
Huh.
Yeah, well, that.
I mean, naked
you know,
is important. It's an important
It
part.
is very important. It is anime. Somebody's got to get naked.
And the tutorial, so it's really interesting. If you don't get past the tutorial into like the actual main part of the game, you kind of don't know what the game really is, to be honest. Because the tutorial does like these story parts and then a battle, and then a story part and then a battle. But in the actual main meat of the game, you can choose to sit there and just kind of do a bunch of battles, or you can choose to sit there and do a bunch of story stuff. So you can really kind of pick and mix how you want to go about things. If you're like, I want to just do some real-time strategy stuff for a while. I don't want to do story for a little bit. You can do that. So the way that it works is you're playing through different people's stories to ultimately learn about a big story. And I think it's super cool. I would say I love the animation style. The animation style,
gorgeous.
It is so good. It's beautiful, and it's a very, very heavy story game, and the story so far is incredibly intriguing. There's a lot of funky things going on that I'm excited to find out what the hell is going on. And there's also an RPG element to it because your characters level up when they're in battle. They can unlock new abilities. They can upgrade abilities. So there's a lot going on. I see why all the reviews you see of this game is like, this is the most unique gaming experience I've ever witnessed. This is amazing. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm excited that I got past the tutorial part because, like I said, you don't really know what the game is until you get past that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What do you think of the combat, Watts? Because the combat is it's a little abstract. Like you're fighting in these giant mechs and you're fighting like kind of alien things, but you're not like close enough to the ground to actually see any of this stuff happen. You just kind of have this world map and then like dots on radar that are basically showing you like what everything is.
It's essentially like if you were to be fighting just by looking at your radar. Like you're not
just your
actually
world
seeing...
map.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like that. So they'll show you what the alien looks like that you're fighting. When you first fight this new type of alien, they'll show you what it looks like, but you don't actually know what it looks like. It's kind of just circles and sparklies. Initially, I was like, that's kind of weird. But now I actually find the combat to be very fun. And it can be very challenging, especially if you up the difficulty on the combat. I could see that it maybe be a little weird that you can't actually see any of the aliens. But I think the strategy part of the combat is enticing enough to make that not matter after you figure out what's going on.
Yeah, and you get like all different kinds of mechs too. Like each character kind of has different abilities, so you got to use them correctly. Like some of them are really good at long range, some of them are really good at like a straight line firing, but they have no ability to take on multiple enemies spread out. Some of them are specialized in like swarms. Some of them are really good at melee stuff. So you got to kind of position them. And as you kind of progress through the story, you get more of them at a time. So you're juggling more balls in the air. But yeah, they spent the money, you could see obviously got spent on the story stuff. Not to say that the gameplay is bad. It's just graphically underwhelming, I would say. But
it's like you're fighting on a
story is overwhelming.
Everyone who I've talked to, they're like, the story is the most insane story I've witnessed. And I'm like, I can't wait to see what's happening.
It's batshit. I mean, that's selling it short because it's not like a nonsensical story. Even though at the beginning, it's so wild that like you don't even know where to go. Like you think, oh, okay, this must be like time travel or something. But it's just like it's by the end of it, it makes sense and you understand what's going on. But it's a new enough idea, I suppose, is what I mean to say, that you don't see it coming because it's kind of an original idea that's pretty fun and pretty wild to go through.
Cool.
Yeah, because where I'm at the moment, I'm like, okay, time travel, robots, aliens, mechs, cool, cool. I'm in 2045. Now I'm in 1980. All right, okay. But I have absolutely no idea what the hell is happening or why it's happening or what is going on. The good thing is the game does kind of take notes for you, so you can always go back and be like, wait, what was that thing that this character did? So if there's any part of the story that you're ever confused, they make it very easy to go back and kind of just double check quickly. It's not a painstaking thing to go back and figure out what is happening, which is very nice. So yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. It's a perfect game to play on the couch because you can literally play this game laying on your ass.
Yeah, you really can.
I was eating ice cream while playing because you can just like let the story run and I can move with one hand. And I was like, oh yeah, it's great. Perfect couch game.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a really dope game. It's completely out of my like kind of comfort zone for most of this stuff, but it's just so original that I
think
decided
that's
to
you,
pick it up.
Briar.
That was at the beginning of the year, right?
This was the beginning of your descent into anime land, I think. This was
Briar,
the beginning.
I don't think it's out of your comfort zone anymore. I think it's in your
Not
wheelhouse.
anymore.
It's technically
I think
your
this
wheelhouse.
is your comfort zone.
Yeah.
True.
Briar's like, oh, there's anime people in mechs. Hell yeah, that's my favorite type of thing.
This is jam.
I can picture it now. You sit in the back of your van with your Crocs on, with your comfort wipe on one side, and
long reach on one side, right?
The long reach.
Yeah.
So then you can reach, and then you can play the Switch game at the same time.
Yeah,
that's right. I like it.
With the
Boy, that really paints a picture that.
That's Briar. That's Briar right there. If
It's
you
like
ever
a
want to
warning sign. See in your future, feel like, whoa, I gotta change shit right now.
Oh no!
I'm actually really happy
gosh.
that I waited until now to play this game because I'm currently watching an anime that's brand new this season called 86.
Oh,
and
what's that to you?
I'm enjoying it a lot. And it's about mechs, right? Like they control mechs. So I'm playing this, 13 Sentinels that is about mechs. It's a very different kind of story, but it's fun to be watching something that I'm really enjoying that's about mechs, and then I'm playing this thing that's about mechs. I'm in mechs right now. I'm embracing mechs. 86 is very good. You should watch it.
Do they get naked when they drive the mechs in 86?
No, it's very dark and very
Lame.
depressing.
not my.
Are you
anime.
gonna drive a mech fully clothed?
Lots of Nazi Germany overtones, I'd say.
Can't even drive a
With
car
overtone.
fully clothed. Never mind a mech.
Pants are optional.
Don't you hate it when you start feeling like you're wearing clothes? You ever get that feeling where you're like, oh God, I can feel the clothes. And you're like, get off. No,
Get off.
go away.
Get off.
Yeah.
I can maybe have a blanket on, not clothes right now. Okay. Waistband, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Oh God. Never mind. A belt. Jesus.
Oh my gosh. Is that the podcast today? Did we cover everything?
When's the PlayStation thing happening? They put out the date of when they're going to be showing some more Ratchet and Clank gameplay.
Right,
So obviously, they
'cause there was
showed
some
the
Ratchet
new
and Clank stuff,
trailer
yeah.
today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh right, and they revealed the female lead's name,
They did.
Rivet, right?
which was Rivet. Yeah,
Rivet.
Yeah, they did
not to
the
be
meme.
confused with Ribbit.
They they showed that meme too of gosh, I can't remember her name. I'm blanking.
Lady
Yeah.
Damask.
No, it was from.
Was it on the Ratchet and Clank Twitter?
Yeah, it was from. God, I'm blanking on names.
Ratchet
well.
and Clank.
There's a meme that they put out. It was great.
Here, I will find it. Rivet meme.
Yeah.
I can Oh, nothing came up.
Agatha. Yeah, it was Agatha. She was doing the big wink, open mouth, and big wink from.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It was great. It's great that they put that out there. Anyways, I'm excited to play Ratchet and Clank. I
Oh,
think
it's
it looks
April
amazing.
29th. April 29th is State of Play, a new State of Play, and it's going to have 15 minutes of Ratchet and Clank new gameplay. So
I don't think I'm gonna watch the new 15 minutes because I already
don't
know I'm
need
buying
to.
the game.
yeah,
It looks fantastic.
I've seen enough to be like, this is great. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm going to play this.
I mean, it's still the best looking thing I've seen on the PlayStation 5 so far.
Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
it looks fantastic. It genuinely looks like you're playing an actual Pixar movie.
Yeah, and that rift mechanic is just
Looks
kind of
amazing.
mind blowing. Still,
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe Elden Ring, new State of Play, huh? Maybe.
Yeah.
Are they
That'd be
signed
nice.
up? Is that like a Sony thing? Did they sign with Sony for that?
Oh no, they said they revealed it in Xbox, right?
Yeah, probably.
So I think unfortunately we have to wait for Xbox to.
So maybe not.
Yeah.
But what if it's on all platforms? So then they can also go to State of Play.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll go straight from the Ratchet and Clank Rift and then they'll pull you into the Elden Ring world.
Oh, that would be a cool transition. They should do
Little
that.
crossover right
cool.
there.
They
That'd be
should
great.
do that
man.
with something.
That
That's a
would
great
be an excellent
Imagine.
idea for the next. What were the robots that shipped the game that shipped on the
Oh, Astro.
Astrobots? That would be a great idea for another Astrobot game. Is to remember how they had like the little mascots from all the different Sony games.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
like hanging around. It'd be awesome if they got Astrobot like warping into different Sony games.
That would be cool. I like Astro. I feel like he's a better mascot. Better mascot than Sackboy. Sackboy is cool.
Sackboy.
But Astro is just cool.
Never a better name than Sackboy though. Like that'll never be beat for a mascot. What is his name?
Boy.
Sackboy?
Sackboy. What does he look like? A sack.
And he's a boy.
A crocheted sack.
Love it.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Well, that's SideQuest. SideQuest complete.
SideQuest complete.
Bling, bling, bling.
Next week's gonna be pretty
Congratulations.
nuts with all the news. We're gonna have Monster Hunter Rise update's gonna be out. Returnal's gonna be
Returnal
out.
been
The state
played.
of play would have happened. It's gonna be cool.
Some good stuff, yeah. Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Well, shout out to our Patreon members for supporting the podcast, and shout out to our Twitch subs as well. Thank you very much, guys. Eric, where can people find you?
You can find me over on Twitter at Arix or YouTube at Aegis Gaming, where this week I'm playing Monster Hunter.
Surprise!
Surprise, surprise!
And Watts, where can people find you?
I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts. And I think this week we're gonna take it pretty chill at the beginning of the week, because at the end of the week we're gonna have a lot of stuff. Gonna be playing all weekend, streaming all weekend.
Stream
It's gonna
stream.
be good.
Nice.
Stream
That
stream.
sounds fun.
It's gonna be fun.
Briar.
I'm Briar Rabbit. You can find me going back to CVS to get my long reach comfort wipe. I really want to take one of these out of the box and see what it's all about. You know,
Do a YouTube review?
yeah. You know what? I'll review it. I'll try it out a couple times, and I'll just send along the used one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you return that thing? Can you return it afterwards? Is there like a 30-day window? Be like, it wasn't for me.
It was too long reach. I had it was a real bad accident.
Say my ass is not that fat. Okay, I can't. This is too long of a reach for my medium. We don't have Fran's fat ass. Okay, this is just Briar's.
Oh man.
I made a horrible mistake.
And I am Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter. I actually do plan on playing Returnal on stream. Looking forward to that.
Hell yeah.
So that's the show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week for another one. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.